Okay, welcome to Feisty Chess. We're black and we're playing against Manash Sharma. Let's go knight f6 against his d4. Let's go for some more Benoni. I've been playing a lot of Benoni lately. So the idea is e6. Benoni's a wonky opening. We're going to exchange. We're going to have avenues for our pieces here. The bishop is going to go on g7. This pawn on d6 is going to be our weakness. You can play bishop f4, for instance. Bishop g5. Okay. Not sure. Maybe I should have played h6 there. Maybe I should. Okay, he's not going to push f4 anytime soon. So now I'm going to watch e5 one more time. So let's go knight d7 before we castle. Yeah, the Benoni can go a lot of different ways, but one common way is, after castling here, is black plays on the queen side. So let's see. If I go a6, to get a6 in here, white will probably play a4, preventing my b5. That's the whole point. If I get b5 in, black is more than fine. Black is probably better. Okay, my knight is pinned. I'm not a big fan of that. Now that I've got an a6 in, I think queen c7 makes some sense. Now I can't play h6, but my knight's not pinned anymore either. Queen to d2. I've got knight b6, then he just has this. Then I come back. I play this knight up here. He makes me take with the e pawn, and then I'm facing a passed d pawn. So I'm going to go rook e8 to try to prepare knight e5. I think I missed a chance to play bishop g4 earlier. I'm going back. Yeah, after knight f6, I think bishop g4 was a better try. And the Benoni, you're very willing to trade off your light square bishop. Okay, he's going to let me get knight e5 in. I wonder if I can go knight h4 here. Or even knight g4. Oh, knight g4. Sorry, h5 or g4. Oops. I'm looking at g4 here. It's going to get f4 in with tempo. It'd be nice to have a bishop check on d4 in some of those lines. d4 here. So knight h4 doesn't really threaten anything. He could h5. He could just kick it with g4. But here, if h3, then knight comes back here. He probably trades. And I can recapture with either the bishop or my d7 knight. Probably the knight. I'm going to go for this. Am I missing something? It also kind of supports h6, if that should be advantageous. Okay, knight g4 it is. I don't think h6 is a good idea, though. I'd rather keep my pawns strong on these light squares, since I'm hoping to give up my light square bishop. Just to free up my game. You can see my light square bishop is a problem piece in the Benoni a lot of times. Black's light square bishop is a problem piece in so many variations. Okay, can we get away with moving this knight? Just to give our pieces some more activity? I think so, because there's trades happening either way, right? Let's move this knight. That frees up the queen and the bishop a little more. He's probably planning like b4 here. I don't think there's anything threatened by that. So here we go. Knight d to e5. White has a bit more space. Okay, I'll happily trade off these knights. This may allow me to trade off. He could take with the g pawn, but no. All right, now knight comes here, and now bishop. Bishop g4 here runs into f3. He only has one defender on e4 at the moment. Could I get away with b5 here? Since b2 is loose, b5, take. I don't think it works. There's the f4 break, f5 break. That actually looks good. That's very thematic, and that gives me something to do with my light square bishop. So I like the f4 break. Especially now this bishop blocks his rook on d2. On e1, not d2. So here we go. Loosening this diagonal in the Benoni by playing your f7 pawn up is not as bad as some other openings because white has this pawn on d5. It's usually stuck. So that blunts that diagonal quite a bit. And if he goes for, this also gives the f7 square for my knight. So if he goes for f5, knight f7 looks good. I think that just wins. It doesn't necessarily win me a pawn, but I usually prefer to have my rook on f8 for this kind of pawn break, but I think we're fine here. I do have knight g4. Knight f7 gives another shield to my king. It watches over d6. Knight g4 allows him to double my pawns and gives him a big center after bishop g4. So I'm going knight f7. All right. Getting our bishop out of dodge. Where are we? Do we want to take with the f pawn? Sorry, the g pawn. He's got g4. Maybe I just let that happen. g4, his king's getting awfully loose. My bishop can come back to d7. Probably better than c8. d7 would actually support the b5 break. So let's do it. Okay, we're out of the opening. We've got our rooks connected finally. I think I'm playing this Benoni pretty well so far. So maybe d5 will be weaker than d6 at the end of the day. He can't get his bishop to attack d6. And I've got good coverage of the e4 square for the time being. I'm keeping my eye open for exchange sacrifices, but those don't seem to be in the cards at the moment. Benoni is known for sacrificial lines because the play is so imbalanced. Sacrifices and exchange sacks, pawn sacks. Okay, g4 is the line. I think I'm just gonna get quickly out of here with bishop here. I let him weaken his king side. I still got my eye on that pawn. If he should try to move this bishop. Bishop f3 looks like a good try here. But bishop f3, and then I definitely could play b4, b5, and get things rolling on the queen side. Yeah, his bishop, dark square bishop doesn't look too good here. I didn't even consider taking this last move. Been an option. But here I'm threatening just to take, and then it opens up the king side some, so I need to be careful. But I have a dark square bishop to protect, and he doesn't. So something like this gives me a much better majority on the queen side. And I mean, the king side is open, but both of our kings are under pressure for that. I'd rather have my rooks on f8 and e8. I'd rather have this a rook on e8 under that circumstance, but could probably make that happen. Maybe I even slap a rook on e5 here. Yeah, in that line. Okay, he does back up. I could play knight h6, hitting that pawn again, forcing some further weakening. Although then my knight looks kind of silly. I could also just sack this pawn right away. Forcing that f-file open. But no, I think, okay, do I have the firepower for b5? Oh, b2 is not loose. That's key. b5, take. He has two pieces he can take with. I can get this check in with my bishop. Check, bishop on d4, check. Or I could grab the knight on c3, but after queen takes, my dark squares are so weak. Okay, importantly, that means after b5, take. He can't take with the bishop because I have this intermediate bishop takes here, which I believe just wins a piece. Because then after queen takes, then I take his bishop with mine, and it's undefended. So we have to take with the knight, in which case I have an exchange sack, but he can recapture with the queen here. All right, I'm not seeing... I'll just go rook b8 to prepare that, okay? Rook b8 to prepare it. I don't see anything that white's threatening immediately. Now, I don't know how he stops b4, b5. Okay, he's shoring that up. But now I get b5 in. So black is happy in the Benoni when he gets b5 in. Could even try to swap off that light square bishop, but that's a good piece now. Now that the board's opening up, and I've got things I'm doing with it. So b4 is probably coming. And that knight doesn't have many good squares to go to. He's got to go to, probably a2 is no good. b1 or d1 more likely. So b4, this allows the knight to come to d2, but I can also hit the bishop now. That also opens the diagonal for queen checks. Maybe I hit, no, I can't hit both. Let's go with b4. Queen b6 is a cheap trap. My knight on f7 does not look too good, does it? How do I stop bishop f6? Sacking that pawn doesn't look too good. And I'm running low on time. Bishop d4 and then king up. Looks like a feisty way to resist here. He could block. He does not choose to do that. I have to watch out though because my bishop is loose if he moves his dark square bishop because my queen is pinned. My pawn is pinned. Well, we're going king up. We just want to keep pieces out of f6. Ugh, this is a frightening way to do it. His bishop doesn't have any threatening spots to go to. So that's nice. Because he's threatening queen takes, check, and my queen is completely loose. Have I shut down the queen side too early? All right, here's my queen side counterplay, I think. Rook here, and I'm planning rook there. I can't do it yet because of bishop. I'm just grabbing the A file. All right, here comes black. Seeing some wild sacrifices. This does give me a check. This gives me a lot of play here. Now my knight comes in. Knight on e5 just looks healthy. Oh, but that does allow him... Okay. That is okay with me, I think. Oh, he's got a queen check if I go there. I think I need to come... Okay, back here, and maybe my knight comes back to f7, and I'm fine. Still have to watch out for that bishop. I like the fork ideas I have here. If I can get that rook. Oh no, his bishop and his rook both guard that square. No, I'm sorry, the rook only guards that square. f3. If I could get that in. Okay, here he comes with his knight. Probably just trading knights is good here for trade knights, king takes, and then queen h6 looks really strong. How do I do anything against that? Okay. Yeah, I have to come here. No, there's mate on e7 at the end of that line. Oh, there's mates everywhere. Losing a rook, likely. Yeah. Yeah, just getting mated. Mated on e7. Well, let's let him have it. You could probably play f7 here too and just be okay. All right. The Benoni, you've got to work at it. That's the thing. I mean, it's a grandmaster level opening, but you have to find accurate moves. So let's try to figure out where I went wrong here. So thanks for the game, Manish K. Sharma. Bishop g4. Yeah, only twice played here, but you need to get rid of that dark square bishop. The computer likes it as well. Wait, does it? Hold on. Probably the computer likes. h6, okay. What about bishop g4? Queen a4 check gets out of the pin. Other options. Knight d7 is not a move here. Is that an error? Computer doesn't like it a ton. Computer doesn't like the Benoni a ton either. 0.7 advantage for white. h6 with the idea of g5 here. Just keeping the option open. a6. Yeah, because letting white get queen d2 in. So here, a6. Yeah, now queen d2. Maybe castling is a bit premature here. There's also knight e5. No, that's no good. No, we don't want to recapture with that pawn. Maybe there's knight g4. No, it's pinned. So either a6 or h6. h6 is still probably good. Not that good now, because we've played knight d6. And the bishop can come here with tempo on the pawn. Bishop f4 hits pawn d6. So castles, not terrible, not the worst move. Still just hovering around advantage for white. I got to imagine that once I got b5 in, I was okay, but I just missed my chances for counterplay. Maybe b4 wasn't the right pawn push. So yeah, now queen d2, but the computer doesn't even like that move. c4, of course, that's a thematic thing. Okay, I should have noticed this. c4, and then bishop c2, and now I have a nice square for my knight on c5. That c4 pawn may look kind of loose, but actually, if you can't attack it this turn, I can get my bishop out and then play b5. Oops, not that. b5, and that should be able to support the c4 pawn. This becomes relevant later too, when I should have played c4 hitting the bishop instead of b4 hitting the knight. Okay, rook e1. These are all okay moves. Knight g4 is the computer's idea. We did find that. It's important to open up this bishop. h6. Oh yeah, it does like h6 here. I thought this was a silly idea because the bishop can just come here and then knight to e5. But if he hits this, h6 is still loose, right? So knight takes f3, he recaptures, knight e5, just giving up h6. Oh, that's not giving anything up because of the fork threatened on e3, f3. King g2, and then rook b8. Can I go here, just shoring things up? Yeah, black has an advantage here. All right, so h6. I should have given that more consideration. I didn't like the looks of those lines where the knight gets kicked. But I have to pay attention to my own threats too. So you gotta rely on some tactics in the Benoni. That's why it's a good opening for playing feisty chess. Yeah. All right, h6 a good time to play h6 there. Putting a question to that bishop. Okay, not a bad move. I wonder if this knight is also okay. Probably okay. Yeah, about the same. This looked more active. So, I guess was c4 a good idea here too? It's playable. Lots of options in the Benoni. So knight takes. No, he went bishop there. Okay, queen a5 is really powerful here. I don't need to be in a hurry to trade. I should make him play h3, leave my knight on g4. Why not? Maybe I can even get h6 in here. No. Knight takes e5. Take on g5. And he's got g4, so that wins. That wins at least a pawn, and that line I won a piece. So I took, recaptured with the bishop, and now we're even. When this bishop sits on f3, it's kind of a dud of a piece. So knight comes to e5, bishop drops back to e2. What's the right plan here? f5, found that, okay. Ooh, mistake. Knight f7. Yeah, now's the time to take on g4. g5. Did I miss this? I did miss this. I talked about it a move later, so I only looked at two recaptures here. I didn't look at the knight capture. That would look excellent. Because now this pawn actually gets in the way of a lot of white's attacking themes. And I'm completely developed, and I've got this queenside majority that's going to be way more effective than this kingside majority. And my king may be slightly less safe, but I have this dark square bishop that white doesn't have. So I miss my chance here. Always look for those in-between moves. Always look at those captures. So yeah, this allows him to get g4 in, but I thought g4 weakens white too much, and it certainly does. It certainly does. Oh, wow. So yeah, now is the moment for bishop d4. Oh, I gotta keep playing the Benoni. All the themes come up so frequently here. So like the c4 push to get knight c5 in. The b5 push. It's a great opening for learning themes of the opening. The intermediate bishop d4 check is often very useful. So let's look at this line. King g2, huh? Not king f1. King f1 looks like it avoids further checks. But then bishop e3. Oh, we're winning an exchange. That's the only thing to it. Because of our control of the d file. So it doesn't matter where the king goes. King g2. This is not the idea. Getting our bishop out of check with the chance to double our rooks. Although this looks good for black too. Bishop on d4 is pretty strong. But this is even better, the main idea. We can do all this with tempo and let our bishop hang because we're always getting more than the bishop. Queen d1 and just take on c1. Now we do have to watch out for white's bishop pair here. Queen takes c1. Could also go with this capture. Even worse for white apparently. Now bishop takes b2 and this knight needs a place to go. Defend it with bishop f6. That is not a natural looking move. I see the logic to it though. You've got this to get out of it. Okay, but let's say white just gives up and says, okay, you win the exchange. I guess he's given up anyway. Now the bishop e4 check. Knight takes. Now we're giving up the bishop pair kind of completely. The more pieces get traded off, the better our rooks become. Bishop h4, hang on to that pair. And that also guards that square critically. g5 here, but I like this doubling. Like, isn't that good enough? Yeah, I mean, black is crushing it here. This knight here is a very valuable defensive piece. And if we trade off some rooks, trade off a pair of rooks, that leaves white rookless. Opens the board further. So yeah, we're dominating the D file, the E file, open E file here. So yeah, probably playing something like Queen E3. We can get queens off the board. A rook and knight are usually better against a bishop pair, as long as the opponent doesn't have a rook of their own. But if the opponent has a rook as well, and it's two rooks and a knight, that's usually, as the bishop pair and the rook is usually as good as those. That's what I hear, and I've seen it play out in some of my games. Okay, we missed all this. This is the road not taken. I think we missed a couple of nice ideas here, and the thing that bugs me is that these ideas are known ideas in the Benoni, the themes that I know about. So pawn c5 check, so pawn c5 hitting the bishop, allowing knight coming to c5, pawn c4 allowing knight c5, and then bishop d4 intermediate check. And here that opens the way for a skewer. Yeah. Also the thematic white kingside attack here. Now bishop d4 doesn't work as well, but it still works pretty well, doesn't it? Well, let's see. He's got bishop f2 now. Oh, look at this funky move. Queen b6. If takes, the knight can't hit the queen coming anywhere. And if he tries to just hit the queen, I just grab the knight and I'm hitting his queen and saying check. Ooh. So we trade queens, I'm up a knight. And any other move just allows d3, check, winning the bishop. Any other knight move. So that's a tricky move. He's got to clear off that bishop so he can then threaten to take. Now just hang on to that bishop. I think Leader likes black better here. Yeah, b4. b4 is a key mistake. Maybe c4 is better. Those are the only things I was looking at here. Okay, yeah, that's equal. I shouldn't just be looking at the computer. Why is this equal? Bishop b1. Queen a5. Bishop b1 allows us to kind of take over the a file. I don't know if I have time to dig into all this stuff here. Knight e4, and yeah, now the knight is a beast. Queen a5 prevents the knight from moving. So knight e4 is the big threat here. Queen a5 does something about that. Rook a1. Rook check here. Why do you have to insert that? What if he just takes with the queen? Queen b4, and I've got rook e8 coming. I'm hitting b2 now, so this gives like lots of counterplay to black. So yeah, he could take with the bishop. Why not take with the bishop? That means the knight's no longer pinned. Oh, queen takes a1. Right. Tactics. Okay. Concrete moves. So rook takes. And now c4. Rook e8, just swapping off rooks. Okay. Looks equal though, even though black has an advantage. Yeah, that allowed the knight to come to e4. What was my plan? I mean, I should have sacked the exchange here, maybe. That's often how you make things happen in the Benoni. But I just shut down my queen side, because look at, he's controlled these light. He's got the light square control. I can't create counterplay where I typically want to. So this, again, a big no-no in the Benoni. You want to have the counterplay on the queen side. You want to open things up. And look, as I move these pawns forward, I also have checking tactical opportunities. So white needs to be careful of those kind of tactics. So yeah, wrong pawn, and it's all downhill from here. Queen b7. I'm not sure what the point of that is. Oh, to try to hit d5, I guess. Queen b7. He just moves his bishop. Yeah. Not a good plan. Not a good plan. It still likes Queen b7. Rook a8. I didn't like this bishop coming here and then threatening take. Well, yeah, I have to take. If the bishop comes to f6, let's say I go, oh, Queen b7 gets out of the pin. That's the key. So now, if bishop f6, the bishop is not actually threatened. I can recapture, as ugly as that is. I can just move a rook. Ooh, actually, rook takes e4 wins in exchange, so that's not a threat. It's not a threat. Yeah. Now black is better. Okay. Well, I kind of ran out of time to watch over these threats. Need rook f8 here. Yeah, you can see the tactics here. This is no good because of queen h6, king g8, and then this mate. This is also no good. Just f7. Knight takes d3 is the recommended move here. But if we try to block this, ooh, mate right there. So here, oh, he missed the best move, which is queen h6 right now, threatening the mate. Whoops, not the rook. And now I've got to play what? Bishop takes g4. Oh, that does seem to work. He can't recapture, but he doesn't need to. Just goes knight g5. Threatening f7. Bishop f3. How about bishop here? Bishop takes. G takes. Now f7 check. Knight takes. Oh, knight takes isn't possible because that disrupts this communication. Okay. So the computer's move bishop f3 is just sheer desperation here. And then on f7, you just have to give the queen. Okay, well, it's obviously over at this point. I was also down a lot on time. That's how the game actually finished. I went knight here, and just take. Hold on, let me see this last point when white made a mistake. Yeah, knight g5. This allows bishop e3. Oh, look at this. I can trade off pieces through a tactic. He can't take because this check wins his queen for 2 pieces. And he might still have a dangerous attack with his remaining pieces, but much better for black. If he just moves the queen, I guess we just, probably not to the d file. Maybe he moves here. Queen d1, okay. We just grab on, take off that attacking piece. And now I probably would just come back to knight here. And we've got our dark squares covered, at least the key ones. But it is an advantage still to white, but it's not mating. Let's just hit that pawn. Okay, I missed that. I missed that key resource, the tactical resource. You gotta maintain tactical alertness in the Benoni. So yeah, this is how it went down. I saw this happening. I didn't see anything else, and I just kind of made the moves, made white find the moves. But, oh, maybe rook f8 is a little better try here. No, still mate in one, right? Mate comes on e7 in either line. Rook e2 check. That just removes a rook, just prolongs the pain. I wasn't interested in that. So here's the mate. Once again, good game. You know, this is a loss, but I learned a lot. I should say it reinforced a lot. And hopefully next time I play the Benoni, I remember these things. c4 with knight to c5. The intermediate bishop d4 check, always keeping an eye on that. And watching out for tactics in general, like this bishop e3 tactic to try to save my skin at the end. So, all right, next time. I'll play the Benoni next time I get the chance, and hopefully things go better. Thanks for watching. Stay feisty.